Just a couple astronauts posing in zero gravity, happy to have such an incredible opportunity like astronauts often do. Meanwhile, they have no idea their space shuttle is irreparably damaged and in fact will be dead in a few days during re-entry. The Space Shuttle Columbia disaster was a fatal incident in the United States space program that occurred on February 1, 2003, when the Space Shuttle Columbia disintegrated as it re-entered the atmosphere, killing all 7 crew members. This is a photo of Howard Ashman on the left and Alan Menken on the right, who wrote the lyrics and music respectively for The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. In this photo, they had just won 2 Oscars for The Little Mermaid. That night, Howard told Ellen they needed to have a serious talk when they got back to New York. When they got back a couple days later, Howard told Ellen he had AIDS and was going to die. They had been songwriting partners for over a decade and were in the middle of working on Beauty and the Beast. So it looks like a happy photo of 2 men achieving their wildest dream, but it's really a record of the last normal moment they had together. And while Ellen is all smiles, if you look closely at Howard, you can tell something's wrong. This is the hand of an X-ray technician in the early 20th century. Because the dangers of prolonged exposure weren't understood, it was normal for the techs to test the machine's calibration on their own hands, which would be done almost daily. All these images were created by the same artist, who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 1996. From there, you can see how quickly the deterioration was. In 1904, 24-year-old O.C. Sneed was administered a lethal overdose by her family so they could collect $32,000 life insurance money. For some unknown reason, O.C. was hated by her mother ever since she was born. When O.C. fell pregnant and gave birth to a daughter, her mother told her the baby had died, then kept her drugged on morphine and forced to stay in bed. The reality was the baby had been adopted. When O.C.'s family killed her, they told the doctor who visited the home it was a suicide, even faking a note. Her family members were eventually caught and charged with murder. Photo of serial killer Christopher Wilder lurking in the background during a 17 magazine show at the Meadow Malls in Las Vegas, Nevada on April 1, 1984. Wilder would kidnap and kill 17-year-old Michelle Korfman after meeting her at this fashion show. She's also in the picture. On April 1, 1946, a tsunami struck Hilo, Hawaii, leaving more than 170 people dead in what remains one of the worst disasters in Hawaiian history. An 8.6 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Alaska sent shockwaves throughout the Pacific. An ocean-wide tsunami quickly began to form, causing waves to reach as high as 13 stories. This chilling picture captures the final moments of an unknown person. John Lennon and his killer. On December 8, 1980, John Lennon signs an autograph on his way out of his New York apartment building for a fan named Mark David Chapman, who would later murder the iconic music star in the very spot when he returned home just a few hours later. As Lennon made his way back into the building at about 10:50 p.m., Chapman stepped out of the shadows and fired 4 shots into his back. Lennon was pronounced dead at the Roosevelt Hospital some 25 minutes later. Carl Williams was an Australian drug kingpin who got into some legal trouble and was sentenced to life in an Australian prison. During his time behind bars, he reportedly turned snitch and started talking about his former associates. In this picture, an associate of his former associates approaches Williams from behind with a piece of tubular steel torn out of an exercise bicycle. Williams' body was unrecognizable when it was recovered. Joseph Avery went rafting on the Niagara River in 1853. During the trip, the team's boat capsized and Avery's 2 companions drowned. A strong swimmer, Avery managed to get to a log, which is when this photograph was taken. Unfortunately, nobody had the equipment or the expertise to mount a successful rescue, and after 18 hours he lost his grip. Avery's body swept over to the Niagara Falls. This photo of a man standing on the edge of the Grand Canyon was taken in the 1970s. Behind him lurks an eerie figure of another man staring directly at the camera. The man and his friends claim that they had been at that spot for over 15 minutes, and they never noticed the man. Final footprints of a 4-year-old girl that drowned in the pond in the picture. Murderous Mary. Mary was a circus elephant who was left in the untrained hands of an underkeeper who was believed to have abused his circus performer. While under his care, she trampled the man to death. In response, on September 13, 1916, Mary was hung for her crimes.